Adulthood, Presnetation, Postformal Thought and Midlife Crisis by Crystal Gavilan, Jen Edwards, and Kyle Severson. Postformal thought importance. One's ability to bring together important aspects of two opposing viewpoints or positions into a realistic and practical decision. A decision that is not based on ideals or influenced by others. This is important because young people have to go through life to be able to understand it. Since they're young, they can't predict the future and make decisions as if they know what's coming. Adults have experienced some part of life and they can base their decisions on that experience. Postformal thought, important points. Postformal thought is basing decisions on what is realistic and practical, not idealistic, making adaptive choices and not influenced by what others think. Most advanced aspect of postformal thinking is dialectic thought, which is the ability to bring together important aspects of two opposing viewpoints or positions. Our ability to think abstractly often depends on education and experience. Postformal thought, important points continued. Many adults do not receive any formal education and are not taught to think abstractly about situations they have never experienced. Thinking about the possibilities or something that has never been experienced. Adults have gained experience and they are able to understand why things happen the way they do. Adults can make their own decisions and not be influenced by others. Postformal thought websites. A fishbowl discussion on the APA.org is useful on learning and teaching critical thinking to encourage postformal thinking. An article on liberty.edu is useful for understanding how postformal thoughts are more rational and less emotional reactions. It ties stereotypes against biblical truths. The development of logic in adulthood, postformal thought and its applications, is available on Amazon.com. It is a great book on the optimal development and resilience throughout an entire life. Midlife crisis, midlife transition. Definition: a period of emotional turmoil in middle age characterized especially by a strong desire for change. Levinson's definition: a time of reevaluating previous commitments, making drastic changes if necessary, giving expression to previously ignored talents and aspirations, and feeling more of a sense of urgency about life and its meanings. Example: we knew he was going through a midlife crisis when he bought a new sports car. Midlife crisis importance, our thoughts. Midlife crisis is important as the notion of a midlife crisis is embedded in our culture, but research suggests they don't occur. It is an important part of our lives because we get to see how much time we have spent and how much more time we have ahead of us. We get to the middle of our life and it helps us to decide what to do with the rest of our lives. Midlife crisis studies. According to Levinson, in 1978, Daniel Levinson wrote The Seasons of a Man's Life. Here he mentioned that midlife transition between ages 40 and 45, he believed a midlife crisis was a normal part of development as a person is more aware of how much time has gone by and how much time is left. However, Levinson's study has been criticized for his research methods due to small sampling size, similar age, and concerns about a cohort effect, as other research does not support the theory of a midlife crisis. According to MacArthur Foundation, most research suggests that most people in the United States do not experience a midlife crisis. The crisis tends to occur among the highly educated and was triggered by a major life event rather than out of a fear of aging. A 10-year study by the MacArthur Foundation Research Network suggests that the years between 40 and 60 are ones marked by a sense of well-being. Today, the midlife crisis is not common. Only 23% of the 3,000 MacArthur Foundation Research Network project participants experienced it. Midlife crisis websites. Researchers replaced midlife myths with facts on the APA.org is a great article expanding on what the stressors are and how they affect people in the MacArthur Foundation Research Network study. Top 10 Myths About the Midlife Crisis on PsychologyToday.com is a useful article on top myths regarding midlife crisis. A midlife crisis article in goodtherapy.org is a useful article, neutral on definition and existence of midlife crisis. The article deals with how to handle crisis in midlife. A midlife crisis article on menhealthforum.org is useful for physiological and psychological symptoms, causes, and treatments. Discussion questions. Postformal discussion question. Do you agree with the statement that many adults do not receive any formal education and are not taught to think abstractly about situations they have never experienced? How does thinking abstractly about situations affect one's ability to make realistic and practical decisions? Midlife crisis discussion question. Everyone will go through major life events as part of normal aging. Why do you think most people have a sense of well being and a small group experience a crisis?